Yep.
Yeah, use the stairs. We love.
The hot seat.
No, not at all. It's very friendly. No, look, we need you all over at NOMAR. I think that's a big. I think it's really easy for us to like punch on NOMAR or whatever, but because it's also like, in a way, it's our organization, right? We contribute these dues, and then we feel like what value is coming in or out. So maybe from your perspective, tell us about what you do and how you see your role.
Sure. So obviously government affairs.
Yes.
So I am the representative for the association in the 10 parish area.
Yes.
So I go out and talk to the city council representatives. I'm talking to the parish presidents or the mayors. I do represent us in Baton Rouge for legislative bill review. And then I do go to DC for the major conference that we do once a year. And we did do visits on the Hill, and I met with Steve Scalise's staff and Troy Carter's staff as well. And then the public affairs is more about, it's the good old-fashioned publicizing events and things that we do for the association.
And what are you talking to them about? What are the things you're pushing on right now?
Well, so we just had the legislative bill review session wrap up, and so there's been quite a bit of communication about that, about what that entailed and what bills passed. It was a fiscal session, so it wasn't necessarily, a bunch of bells and whistles with insurance reform, but there were some things that were passed that were beneficial to the realtors, and I know I shared with Cody a link that he can share out with you all.
Cody, take it away.
With all the bills that were listed.
Where is he?
And
it's coming. Here it comes. Here it comes. Here it comes.
Okay.
It's behind you, and yep, great. So
And
the LR website is what you're looking for?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
perfect.
And anybody who's interested, please, I encourage you to go to the LR site, and you can look up all the bills that were discussed, passed or not, and then you can sign up to track each bill individually if you so desire. So it's an interesting site, very informative. There's always a lot going on.
Can you maybe give me a little remedial lesson here? There's NOMAR, there's Chizrin, there's LR, there's NAR, there's LARPAC. Help me understand just in the quick elevator pitch on what's what.
Happy to.
Well, no, I think it's important and keeping who straight.
Because I get this question.
Yeah, sure.
All right, so I'm going to start at the base level, the most important level, which is NOMAR, right? So we represent the 10 parishes. Then, as far as the Political Action Committee is concerned, it rolls up to Louisiana Realtors.
When you said represent the 10 parishes, I just want to go back to NOMAR. NOMAR is the regulator that is the local implementation of NAR.
Correct.
Right?
For 10 parishes.
For 10 parishes. Perfect. Now I understand what you meant for 10 parishes. Go ahead.
And then we roll up to LR, which is our president, Norman Morris, right? And he has, he's looking for a GAD right now, a state GAD, that will be handling legislative issues for the entire state.
GAD.
I'm sorry, Government Affairs Director.
Okay.
Which is the short version of my title.
For NOMAR.
For Louisiana. So I represent.
Yes, right. You're the one for NOMAR. He's looking for one for NOMAR.
Right.
For Louisiana.
Right. So I represent the 10 parishes here. Then we have Norman, who handles the entire state, and he will be filling a government affairs director for the entire state, who will deal with legislative issues at the Baton Rouge level. So that our PAC rolls up from NOMAR to LR. Then from LR, it goes up obviously to the national level. So when you make a contribution to any of these events, the crawfish boil battle, if you're going to some kind of major investor event, those fees, we keep a third here at the local level to deal with any and all issues. Mm-hmm. And then some goes to the state level, and then another portion goes up to the national level.
Okay.
And responsibility flows accordingly.
Okay.
So that's how the PAC works.
All right. I got to ask you to hold a microphone since one didn't get on you today. Thank you.
Okay.
We have people online. No, it's not for in here. It's for all the nice people online.
Okay.
Okay. So now that I've got that straight, let's talk about the PAC since you brought it up. I have been very honest that I don't give to the PAC. And like, y'all put a default $25 or something?
15.
15?
15. It's 15 if you want to join the PAC.
Okay.
I'm talking about the contribution. He's
that's
talking about the contribution
that
that's
just-
on the bill, that comes out on the yearly bill.
It's 15, you're sure?
It's 35.
Okay, it's 35?
That is below, excuse me, it's above the line, so it is optional.
Right.
But we do offer various events throughout the year. Technically, to be a LARPAC contributor, it is a $15 minimum.
Got it. So there's an automatic, it comes on our renewal bill automatically, and you can click to take it off.
Yeah.
Which you've already paid this year, by the way. But I've said I take it off because I don't like some of the things that happened in the past. Why am I wrong to tell all these great people that? Go ahead, you get to give me a spanking now.
Well, so bottom line, if you're in real estate, obviously you are an entrepreneur. You're each running your own business. And as such, legislation and political parties and influence have a great effect on your business because it has to do with quality of life issues. It has to do with the repair of roads and the sewage and water board and, short-term rental issues. And all of those obviously flow through our city government. And when you contribute to the PAC, you are directly contributing to advocacy efforts of folks like myself, folks at the state level, that go out and talk to these folks and advocate for bills that will help support your business and take out the roadblocks that you may be experiencing to selling properties.
And in general, I think y'all would probably argue that NAR is the most successful, it has the most successful lobbying organization, in the country, one of the biggest, and the United States is the highest value property across America and continues to appreciate like no other country has in the history of the world.
Correct. We are the largest trade association in the United States. Does anybody know how many members we have nationally?
No.
Anybody want to take a guess?
3 million.
Close. You're not too terribly far off.
Okay.
1.5. 1.5 million members nationwide. That makes us the largest trade organization in the United States, which also makes us the loudest, strongest voice in DC.
Okay. Interesting. Learning a lot today. So let's get back to New Orleans and Louisiana issues. You all, we had a little talk before this, and I said I was basically really disappointed with the legislative session from an insurance perspective. Didn't see much happen. There were some permanent funding paths found for fortified roofs. And you nicely told me that that wasn't the plan. This was a fiscal session. It was
Correct.
never supposed to fix insurance. I guess if this legislative session wasn't supposed to fix what's making people want to stay in Louisiana or be able to afford to keep homes in Louisiana, what the heck are these people doing? And I don't mean you all, I mean our legislators.
Well, so obviously they're working within the confines of what the session dictates. So it was a fiscal session, and so there was some tax reform that happened, which will affect insurance in the long run. But it's a long game. This is a marathon that isn't a sprint. And I do know that our legislators are working very hard to create more opportunities for competition. That is the biggest issue in the state, is that we need more competition with insurers. Because once you have more competition, then obviously rates will lower. And the biggest thing that happened, actually it was outside of this session, was that they repealed the 3-year rule, so that somebody could possibly lose their insurance under the 3-year rule, because that has been taken away. But that is also going to benefit us and the state, and of course your folks here overall, because now we are much more attractive to the reinsurance industry. The reinsurance industry didn't want to touch us.
Now, that was a Jim Donelon invention that was never done anywhere else. He came here, he sat right there, and he defended himself like it was the best idea he ever woke up and thought of.
Correct. We were the only state that had it.
And was so proud. And really, you could still get your rates jacked up. And everyone got their rates jacked up to pay for that silly rule that we were the only state that did, which insurers hate because they're national. for the most part, and we need national insurers to come in here.
Right, so that is gone now. And we do have, I think it's 2 new insurers in the state, but we anticipate seeing more. So hopefully those rates will continue to decrease, but it will take some time.
So let's pivot to one of my favorite things, which is the national environment about private listings and pocket listings and all these things. And we have a competitor that's a New York, basically they want to be a website, it seems, that just has thumbed his nose at NAR and the whole Robert Refkin has said very publicly, the CEO of Compass, I don't recognize NAR as my legislator anymore. Or a governing body that I have to listen to, nor do my agents. And he's even said he will pay for half their fines. He came to New Orleans to say. So, how are y'all working with somebody that's such a huge portion of the market that's just deciding they don't want to play ball?
Well, first caveat is that's beyond my scope.
Okay.
But I can opine on it. I mean, bottom line, the settlement is the settlement. We NAR agreed to the settlement conditions in order to protect the rights, the business rights of all the realtors so that you would not be sued going forward. And if folks choose to operate outside of that settlement and those guidelines, then I don't know that we can respond to that. So obviously NAR's party line and NOMAR's is to follow the suit, to follow the buyer rep agreement guidelines and to conduct business appropriately.
And follow clear cooperation.
Follow clear cooperation, yes.
Which seems like it's a moving target a little bit. Okay, I get it. You don't make those rules, but what is if we come across a listing or we get told about a listing that just is nowhere, we can't find it, how do we, I don't know. I don't know how we continue as an industry to hold this thing together. I think the MLS is the glue. And I think Gary Keller feels the same way. I mean, in 2020, they rolled out this internal KWLS system, and we could have just said at that point, hey, everybody, we're done. We've got our own. We sell 1 in 4 houses, or 1 in 5 houses in the United States. We're on our own, and everybody else can figure it out. And they realized we're all better together. Mm-hmm. So they didn't do that. Gosh, it'd be a shame to lose all this. But what's the path for us going forward if somebody so high up is thumbing their nose at NOMAR?
I don't know that I can really comment on that. What I would say is, if you have concerns, if you have issues, if you have others that you're encountering that are not operating appropriately within the market,
witnessing anti-competitive behavior,
then that needs to be shared. And you can certainly always make those official complaints to NOMAR. And if it's something that needs to be rolled up to the state, it will. And if it needs to be rolled up to national, it will. So that would be the guidance that I can give you on that.
Got it. I know I'm pressing you on things that are a little outside the
Yes.
scope here. Well, tell us, I've asked you a bunch of things. What do you have for us that we didn't talk about that's important to know?
Well, so one thing that I think is actually pretty important, and we've done some media interviews about it, and we're going to continue to, you have this sheet in your chair, and it is something that Norman, our LR CEO, has also been speaking about at various conferences around the state. And it is the economic impact that an average sale brings to the state of Louisiana. This is what you, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as a realtor, is bringing to the economy, and it is very significant. We represent almost 1/3 of the percent of all economic drivers, 33% of economic activity in the state through a typical real estate sale. So one sale brings about $85,000 into the economy through various things, whether it's realtor fees, commissions, it's furniture purchases, it's movers, it's folks being hired to come in and make repairs on a home, whatever the case may be. And that is why it is so important to make sure that your interests are represented both here locally at the state legislature and at the national level, because we are we are a major part of what is driving the economy and moving it forward. And if they want to continue to see improvements in streets, in quality of life issues, in gaining inventory to sell, then they've got to continue to support the real estate industry, period.
Great. I'm thrilled to have that number.
Yes.
You've also are hosting all the mayoral candidates.
We are. So this is actually coming up. You have a flyer about this. You also have an email in your inbox this morning. We are hosting the New Orleans Mayoral Town Hall meeting August 4th, and it's going to be at UNO at the Performing Arts Center, and it's the top 4 candidates, and we're going to be specifically asking them questions that are related to real estate, to short-term rentals, and for the home builders and building issues as well. So we would love to have you there. They're very excited about being there. I've talked to them all personally, so they are well aware that this is exclusively for real estate and builder professionals, and they're ready to answer questions.
How is NOMAR, how are you kind of weighing in and throwing the weight of NOMAR into that race?
Well, we'll find out after the town hall, because what we want to do is figure out where they are on our issues. So we're specifically going to be asking them questions that affect our industry, and then from that, we will make our decision how we move forward.
And then does the
support.
PAC give money out and
Well, that
y'all
would-
distribute it out
Yes.
accordingly to where the positions went or something like that?
Correct.
Interesting.
Correct.
Okay. Anything else before I let it open up for questions?
No.
Questions for Suzanne? Go ahead, Mary.
Do you know what happened to the bill about cell phones while driving?
Yes, you may not touch it.
Right.
She's more going to be on real estate issues, though.
Well, it has a real estate.
Yeah, that we do it all the time.
component. No, I mean, the real estate component is that people that I've talked to who are buying houses, own houses, the car insurance has an issue with. I mean, they have an issue with it for staying in New Orleans, and that was just to give context. I used to be a Georgia lobbyist. Then I became a legislator. Then I became a lobbyist when I retired. And one of the things that I would ask my lobbying clients to give me was the power to use look at peripheral legislation in order to, assess that it was close enough to the bigger picture. Do you have any idea about it? Because that is something actually that people who are living here or buying here are interested
Mary, can I clarify? You're trying to figure out, or your statement on that is, or question around that is, people are upset that they can't touch their cell phones while driving, and you think that's going to be a
No,
distraction from
not
living here?
touch their cell phones. That car insurance is so high.
Oh, yeah.
And then getting that passed actually would bring car insurance down. Sorry,
It got passed, though.
it did get passed.
It did get
Okay,
passed.
cool.
It's into
All
effect
right.
July 1.
Actually,
Or
August
August 1? Okay.
Yeah, and do you have the power to go beyond your footprint that NOMAR gives you when it comes to legislation? Like you look at something and you go, oh, this is peripheral to real estate, and can I jump on that or do I have to go only these specific bills? I mean, do you have any power to do that?
So my role is as your liaison. So I am your government affairs liaison. So my No, I am not a registered lobbyist.
LR does that.
Correct.
That's why I want to lay out that matrix. LR does that. And
But if there is something that you feel passionately about or you have an interest in and you want to forward that information to me, because I've done that for others, I will forward that up to the appropriate folks to take a look at.
Okay,
great.
thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, it was a long one.
Tina?
There are other states that have passed legislation kind of in a rebuttal to the buyer-broker agreement. I think Alabama did. I think maybe California did. is there any discussion here for us to do the same thing? Basically, I think it's hard as an agent to talk to somebody over the phone that you've never spoke with and said, oh, hey, I'd love to show you this $1 million property, and no, you've never met me, but you got to sign this and you're going to work with me. And in the other states, as I read it, it basically said that you don't have to have them sign that until you actually go to a closing in some situations, or till you're established as their agent. And has there been any discussion for us to do something similar to that?
Well, as an echo to what I told the lady over here, I have received that question, and I sent that up to the state level.
Okay. Cindy?
Okay. You talked about the mayoral candidates and you wanted to see how they stand on your issues.
Mm-hmm.
What are your top 3 issues?
So we do have questions. We have 3 specific questions that we're giving them up front to prepare answers to, and then we're going to do a call out after for folks to bring their questions to give to the candidates real time. But the 3 right now, we want to know about short-term rental and what their stance is on that. We also want to know their feelings on the insurance issues with property and casualty and what they think they might be able to help with that. We know that that is more of a state issue, but there is influence that they can have at the city level. And then we wanted to know about the permitting process and inspections. So those are the 3 top level questions. We have a work group right now that's actually going to be meeting tomorrow, and we're crafting more specific detailed questions, but those are the top 3 working ones right now.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Which candidate's your favorite?
Not at liberty to say.
Cody, go ahead.
So we're tracking those probably also as like some of the top 3 issues that we should care about, especially at the state level. But I guess what I'm unclear about is does LR have stances or positions on such things as short-term rentals, or the way licensing should be done, for or against, or their caveats, or we're just trying to listen and pick our favorite candidate?
So LR does have positions. They are posted on their website. I will be frank, there are bills that come through the Senate that we give opinions to our Baton Rouge contingent, and they work behind the scenes to see if there's some influence there that we can make. So it depends on what the bill is, what is in it. Right now the session is out of session, so there isn't any active lobbying going on. But in general, those issues bubble up from folks like us, and then we share that at the Baton Rouge level.
Yeah, I guess like I've tracked and I've seen like the position bill after bill, and but like, is there advocacy like more generally for these type of issues to influence the bills versus just take positions on bills?
Yes, that's done by Norman,
Okay.
and he is very active in insurance reform. And then, of course, there are other varying issues that spill out of that. We had, I coordinated a meeting with Commissioner Tim Temple with our board members to talk about insurance reform and to bring stories of how people were getting to the closing table and losing deals simply because folks couldn't afford the insurance.
Is there something we should all be advocating and being a voice to for insurance reform? Like, is there a particular idea we would say this is the thing that needs to happen? I only say this because like people like Royce, I feel like the first time I was talking to him, I mean, he acted like he had no idea about insurance. This was years ago, right, as an issue. And so I think we all are kind of involved and actually know our politicians here locally pretty well, that we could be a better, smarter voice if we knew kind of what we were saying in unison. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, and I would love to have you join my government affairs committee so that we could have you do that, because that's exactly what we do. As we have people that are designated to go out and speak to our legislators.
I just want like everybody to know, because Tina's the loudest voice in the room, and she's not going to join the committee, but she knows them all, right?
On the website, are we going to see that we support STR, a position like we support STRs, or we're think STRs artificially raise the cost of housing, or like, is it get that in depth, or is it very careful and political?
I'm
not holding you to these
no,
positions.
No, that's
I'm
all
just
right.
trying to ask you your opinion on
I'm trying
how.
to figure out how to answer it appropriately. We are deliberate and direct in how we approach our politicians
Right.
and what we're trying to accomplish.
You've got to give yourself a wide berth to be able to work with whatever they're working with and whoever's in office.
Right. We're not necessarily going to be.
We're not going to go find the answers on the website is really the answer. Okay.
But I am open and available to everyone if they want to email me, if they want to have a conversation, if they want to give me information, and I address it that way.
These deals aren't made on websites and publicly. These deals are made quietly, and everyone likes the sausage, and nobody likes how it's made. Is the nice way to say it.
It's
Yes,
like
Cindy.
affordable housing here is a real issue. What is our stance, or how do you guys tackle that, and what do you say about that one?
Well, that's going to be one of the topics at the mayoral town hall meeting, and we're going to see what they say about that. But I believe that rolls into inventory. Obviously, those are inventory issues. I do sit and watch the various city council meetings, and I also attend them on occasion. And I know there's some issues about affordable housing projects getting to the finish line with tax credits and design plans, and then they are turned down at that point because there's public discord about it. And so I know that there's been some discussions about how to address that as well. So we are aware of that. We are dealing with that. You'll probably hear more about that in the future.
I'll share with you to kind of close up here. One of our big theme issues, besides you all's leaving, is the constant change of positions. Not by you all, but by the city council. The rules change way too often for people to make investments that are multi-decade investments. And we see this all the time. The way that the developers of the Borden dairy plant were treated and had to leave because there weren't units that were exactly the same size as the penthouse for the affordable unit and all these things meant that good development went goodbye, and we got a bunch of cheap houses that all went STR, and that neighborhood's really a weekend neighborhood now. Instead of having a really nice development where people would have actually lived. And the city council, I think, is very heavy-handed. And we've, like Joe DeRusso, who I think we would call a friend of this office, we've had him here and called him out on, you all change zoning, and you pretend that you don't, but you all change zoning all the time for activist issues, and it's really a shame. And I think that one of the NAR things is zoning is a huge thing, and honoring what someone's right to do to develop a property. I think that's a big one. While balancing preservation, of course.
I'll put that on the list of questions.
Thank you. I would love that. That'd
Well,
be great.
it's a very anti-IZD position,
Yeah.
to be very specific. It's like IZDs is like what causes us havoc. It's what like puts both commercial and residential people in bankruptcy, quite frequently, and it makes us uninvestable. Would be like clarity in the position.
Yeah, those are, they can't change insurance, but they can definitely to ask the council, or Helena can ask JP to please stop that kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank
We
you for
really
having me.
appreciate it and your openness. Thank you. Hope you come back.
Yes, happy to.
And you left a ton of things passed out that was
Yeah.
really good information. So take those,
Thank you so
everybody.
much.
All right. Oh, there was more. Yep.
Yep.
Perfect.
She sent a whole set of
Show
links with it.
notes. Okay.